It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. Welcome to the Dep Lewis Show, episode 10. This is your host, Dep Lewis, and today is Saturday, December 10th, 2022. The Dep Lewis Show has turned double digits today, and so I want to congratulate the show for all of its hard work, for all of its aging, for all of its weeks of content, and shout out to that. Our next milestone will be hitting triple digits one day, so that'll be 2 years down the road. So we got a while to hit our next milestone for digits here, but I want to welcome you to the show today. Happy holidays, happy everything to you. Hope you're having a great week. Hope you played some good video games. Hope you've done some shopping. Hope you had some time off from work. Hope you've watched some sports and hung out with some friends and2 and hope everything's going good. It's been a great week of video games. We're getting really, really close to the end of the year here. I think we have 2 more podcasts after this for this year, so we'll be into 2023 after that. So we'll be in all new territory for video games to look at and talk about and discuss and rank and see what's the best and see what's coming out. And we're also going to do some of that today. So we're going to get started. And the first things I want to do are some housekeeping items. I want you to follow the Dep Lewis Show, DepLewisShow everywhere. You need to like, you need to subscribe, you need to rate, you need to comment, you need to review, you need to turn on notifications, and tell a friend. That's all you got to do. So I need to be in your brain right now, controlling you and telling you to do those things. And if you have any questions or feedback, you can email DepLewisShow@gmail.com. That email box is open 24/7, any time of the day, any time of the night. If you have a thought and you want to send it to that email box, you can send it. All you got to do is type, hit the send, boom, DepLewisShow@gmail.com, and it's hitting my eyeballs. And then it might be hitting the airwaves, so you got to think about that. There's full episodes of this show, the Dep Lewis Show, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Patreon, and more on my Buzzsprout page. My Buzzsprout page is a good hub for all the places my podcasts are on, and you can also listen to it on the Buzzsprout page. So either way you want to listen, I appreciate it. There's clips on YouTube and TikTok, so please go check those out and like them and comment, send them to your friends, and just thank you. I really appreciate any and all support that can be given to me and to this Dep Lewis Show. I don't necessarily have any notes from last show. I've listened a few times. I think I just generally need to keep getting better at podcasting, making my transitions more smooth, maybe taking my time. That's what I've been trying to do a little bit more. Of just like possibly slow down. I don't have to be rushing the whole time. And those are just kind of my thoughts these days. I'm hoping for no background noise. I think last week was pretty good for that. This episode, the first take of this episode started with my dog chewing her bone endlessly, so I had to restart that, and then right after that I had some people yelling outside. But hey, this is a popular show, so people are trying to get here. People are around the area, the people are trying to listen, they're trying to get in on the podcast early. They're trying to listen out the windows so they can listen to the live show, but we can't. We need them to download and like and subscribe and all those things, so they need to listen on the podcast feed or on YouTube or wherever it may be. So we're going to get right into it today. Today we're going to talk about some of the video games I've been playing, which I've had a pretty good week of video games. I've actually played a lot of a bunch of different things, but not much of any of these for this week. But I've got a good selection of games that I've checked out, and some I'm checking out for Game of the Year purposes. And then in the what I've been seeing section, we'll talk about some news that I've been seeing. The Game Awards happened this week, which was I'm learning I need to treat like an E3 press conference going forward. So the Game Awards had obviously they had the awards that happened, but they also had a slew of announcements, of video game announcements, and some really hard-hitting announcements. So I'm excited to talk to you about those. I might have some dates and some descriptions and just some overall commentary on those, and some excitement as well, because I've added some games to my must-buy purchase list that I need to officially create at some point, but I know some of these games I'm going to be buying on day one. So I'm excited to tell you about those. And then at the end, we have a little music talk. An album came out that I'm really, really into this week. And we got some sports talk to close out the show. So I hope it's going to be a great show. This is episode 10, so we're going to get rolling in the video game section. So the first video game I want to talk about is usually how I like to lead off this show. It's been the best game of the year for 2022. It's Splatoon 3. I haven't played much of this game this week. I played a few matches. I just wanted to hold this spot for posterity's sake to say you should go play Splatoon 3. I've been playing some Turf Wars. I've been slightly thinking about playing the single player. I'm not really 100% sold on that, but I was thinking my internet was down the other day, and I was like, what would I do if I couldn't Splatoon? And I'd have to start the single player, I was thinking. But I have been thinking recently of, the time between if I want to play a multiplayer game by myself, would it be Splatoon or Call of Duty right now? And I've been playing Call of Duty. It's pretty fun, but I think it would still be Splatoon. So I just really want to highlight this game again. Maybe I'll try some single player out this week, or when some things slow down for my video game world. And then I also need to fix my locker up this week. That's something I need to do. I need to make it a priority to fix my locker up. And other than that, I've just been using the same weapon. There's another version of my weapon that I could use that has 2 different slots for the abilities, but I just don't know if I'm ready for that change yet. I just really like the Trizooka. I just got my emblem for the Trizooka, so I'm feeling a little bit like a Trizooka badass, if that's even such a thing, but I'm trying not to use just the generic emblems and like symbols and things like that in that game. I want to get the cool shit, so I got this cool Trizooka one, and I'm using that now. That's kind of what I'm trying to do in all games as well too. Try not to immediately change all that stuff and try to get some cool stuff to make me stand out here on these video game streets. So Splatoon 3 has been a great game. The chill season is rolling right along. We have until the end of February for this season, and I'm trying to think if there's any other updates. I need to still fully check out what my amiibo can do. I need to need to scan those fulls in. I have them sitting on my bookshelf right now. I'm leaving them in their cases for now. I think it's a nice little display for those amiibo, and I'm still loving looking at them. But Splatoon 3 is a really great game, so I just highly recommend it. You should go play it. And the next game that I played some this week is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I've actually played a pretty good bit of this game this week. This is probably the most played game for the Dep Lewis Show for the week of whatever week that was we just had. For the week in between episode 9 and episode 10, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I actually have this on Xbox and PS5 now. I don't really know if that was a necessary purchase, but I have a lot of friends that have it on Xbox, so it just makes the party chat a little bit easier and just a little more seamless. However, I believe you can do the party chat on PS5 just as easy, but you're utilizing the Activision tag. So I just wanted to save everyone. I think I really do have 3, maybe 5 friends on there that have it, so I didn't want to have them all add it. Add my Activision tag, and now I own the game on Xbox, which is cool too, and I'm paying for Xbox Live on there. I think I finally made that decision that if I have to pay for Xbox Live Gold or PS Plus, I'll just pay for Xbox Live Gold. I've also determined that you should never really be paying the prices that they offer to you just straight up. You should go get a card from somewhere, like a download card, because the deals on those are a lot better and the annual prices are a lot better, or even like the 3-month or 6 months prices are a lot better than what they're charging you. So I think I grabbed a 3-month card for $24.99, which isn't the best value I could have gotten, but it just allows me to see if I'm playing Call of Duty for these 3 months. There's not really many other multiplayer games that I'm playing. It's been a long while since I've kind of been into a multiplayer game, so I just want to make sure I'm not wasting my hard-earned moolah. And so yeah, I grabbed the 3-month card for that, and I still have a month on my PS going, so I've been able to actually play on both of my systems, which has been kind of cool. I have one here on my desk, and then I have one on my main TV, so it's been kind of nice. It's been like a nice luxury to have Call of Duty on both machines. For my desk setup, I don't have any computer speakers though, so it's something I might want to pick up. I've looked at it like picking up a cheap set of computer speakers, but I also don't know if I want them on my desk. I can easily wear a headset, but I don't always like to wear a headset when I'm playing games, so these are just the things I think of when going through these things. But Call of Duty, I got to play with friends a couple nights this week. We did some boozing. We did some playing. Stayed up pretty late one night playing. We had some fairly okay success. I don't think the Call of Duty streets are way too overmatched for us, but we did pretty good. There's still definitely a lot of rust in my friend group and myself for Call of Duty. We just haven't played this in a while, and I do feel like I'm getting a little bit back into a groove where I can just pick up a game and I feel like I'm not a huge negative to the team right now. I'm pretty much solely using the PDS W638, which is the P90, I guess. I don't know why there's 2 names for it, but just to bring them both up so you can recognize it. And I really like that gun, and I just like the quick nature of it, and I'm going to keep saying that. I think that's why I really like it, and I haven't really wanted to change from it. So I've also feel like I'm sort of learning the maps a little bit. One of my friends mentioned friends mentioned, he's like, there's not really a whole lot of maps. I don't think he was saying it as a dig, but then I was thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, maybe there really are only a handful of maps, and especially in the modes that I'm playing. I'm just playing Kill Confirmed and Team Deathmatch. But on another note, I really like all the maps. I don't have any that I hate that come through in the queue. I still think they all look visually appealing. I think they have a great flow to them. I was thinking while I was playing that they have more of a natural flow to them than some of the old levels, I feel like. Where some of the old levels, you really feel like you're playing a video game level, and these levels really do feel more just lifelike, like you're in a real area having this shootout and battle. So I think that's a real good tribute to the developers on this game. All the cross-play on this game works great. Since I've been trying this out on both of my systems, I really like being able to have the Activision tag to have your separate friends list there. I think it's really nice, and it allows you to, jump back and forth on consoles if you had to, or if you, I don't know. I think that scenario could help some people out, especially if you are not the only person in your household maybe, and you want to play on a different console. I think it can help you in that scenario, but all the crossplay stuff works great. It just loads your profile right in. You have all your loadouts, you have all your stats, and then you already have your Activision friend list built in because you're just signing into that, so it's really cool. I think this will be not a strong selling point on me for games going forward, but it would just be a nice thing when games do have this, because sometimes I do own games on both my consoles. Like I think I have Witcher 3 I was mentioning, which has that new next-gen update coming out this week, which will get a free update to make that game run extra nice on the next-gen consoles, and that would be something that if I could have my Witcher save going between both consoles, if I just was feeling lazy and didn't want to switch them one day, I could just, it just helps you be lazy, and it also helps you access your content if you have a lot going on. So it kind of satisfies both ends of the spectrum, and I just kind of going at it from more of it's like a cool thing. But just wanted to shout out that to the Call of Duty. I'm learning the maps, and I'm also, my main tactic in the game is I am not running, and that's I've been consistently doing this since I've started playing this game. I'm only running if it's like at the very beginning when you get loaded in, or if it's like a runaway situation or something. But I would say like 80% of the time, maybe a little more, that I'm just walking around with my eyes wide ass open looking for these goons I gotta shoot. So I think I would highly recommend Call of Duty to anyone, especially to people that like first-person shooters in Call of Duty already. This is a great version of Call of Duty. I think this could bring back some old fans of this game, and I think this could generate some new fans. It's not really doing anything drastically different than Call of Duty hasn't done, but it's a very polished, great game that's running well. I don't know if another Call of Duty game is coming out this year. I feel like I remember hearing that, but I could be wrong about that. But if that's the case, then this game would seem to have some pretty long legs to it, which is cool as well. So maybe I'll be having to pony up for more than 3 months of Xbox Live Gold, but we will see. But Call of Duty is going really, really great so far. I can imagine myself playing this some more this week. And I wanted to shout out on the PS5 and the Xbox. I want to shout out the Apple Music app and the Spotify app. When I was playing some Call of Duty on my monitor with my headset, I was actually listening to some music, and I just haven't done that in a while. Where you can control the levels, you can actually raise the game audio or your music audio or lower them, and then you can put your friends' chat in there. Like, it's really cool. I forgot about that kind of stuff, so I want to start utilizing that some more, since I do like to listen to things while I play games. And especially on the Xbox, when you got games like Vampire Survivors and Call of Duty and sports games, those are great games to play while you're listening to other stuff. So I just wanted to mention that those things work really great. It seems that the Spotify app on Xbox, the podcasts, are working a lot better now. There was a point where I wasn't able to play the podcast on my app for some reason. You could just hit play and it would never do anything. And I've tested it a million times on different podcasts. I uninstalled, I installed, and I just kind of assumed for a while it was broken. And now that I'm thinking about this, that's why I haven't used that function for a while. I got really soured on it, I guess, because I do listen to a lot of podcasts. And then my other complaint was that you couldn't look if there was a video version of a podcast in Spotify, you weren't able to watch it on the app. You were able to listen to it at one point, but you were never able to look at the video. And I just confirmed recently that now if you're watching a video podcast on the Spotify app on Xbox, you can see the video now. So it seems like they fixed that completely. I don't have any complaints for how it works or runs, and that they've not responded to me, but they I've responded to the things that I had gripes for. So another great thing to report there, and something really cool to use and can improve your gaming experience out there in the world. And on to the next game. We're going to talk quickly about, not quickly, but these next two games were something I mentioned last week that I wanted to try out. That this is in the spirit of, testing these games out a little bit more for Game of the Year to see if they could make my list, because I think my list has, on the bottom half, has a few slots that are interchangeable right now that we have some options for. The top of my list has some really, really strong contenders, so there's not going to probably be any movement there, but the bottom of the list is going to have some movement. So these are two games that we're going to talk about next that could possibly be jumping up into there. And the first one is Olli World, and this is a game that came out earlier in the year of 2022. I don't remember when, but I played some of it when it came out, not too much of it. And just to reiterate, this is developed by Roll7 and published by Private Division, if I've never said that before. And this game, I'm playing this on the Switch. I got back into it this week a little bit. I probably played 10 levels of it or so. And I think I'm liking it. I just don't know. I don't know if some of the things are hitting for me. I really like the actual level part of it when you're playing the game. I don't know if I love all the trappings around it, and even I don't know. I don't know if it's going to grow on me. It's just it's doing a unique thing with the visual style. It's like very I don't know. It's like a subdued. It's like subdued Easter colors. A lot of it. I don't know how to explain it other than that. And then the music's some kind of lo-fi stuff, and the characters, they're not like trendy, but they're like I don't know. I'm just kind of an old guy. I'm probably giving old guy vibes on this, but I don't know if I'm enjoying all those parts of the game. But I'm also kind of still in the first area, so I don't know if it's just part of the tutorial. But my only kind of gripe right now I'm thinking through is I would just like to run through these levels more without the other stuff going on. But it's not to say that I don't like the way it looks. I just don't know. I think I just like being in the action of this game more than the menus. And I was trying to think too, if I'm being bougie on the load times for this, like if that was taking me out of it a little bit too. Like this game, I was looking at load screens more than I'm used to, and I have these next gen consoles that have this quick loading, and I'm playing this game on the Switch, and a little bit while I was playing it was making me want to play it on Xbox or on PS5 to see what it was looking like. So I actually did go to check to see if it was on Game Pass, but it looks like this game is $29.99 on consoles for download. So I don't know. I don't think it was. I'm really being nitpicky here with this game, but I do like it, and I want to play some more of it. I like the levels. When you're playing the levels, you have to be extremely focused on what you're doing, which is kind of fun. You don't have any error for not looking at the screen because you're constantly looking for what's coming up next. And I don't know if that's what would make the next-gen consoles feel a little bit better for this game. But it's really fun. I haven't actually tried it in handheld. That's part of the reason I have this game on Switch, is just, or a lot of games on Switch, is for the handheld aspect, but it's not something that I'm generally using a lot right now. But I could be in the future. Like I said in an earlier podcast, the Dep Lewis Show is relocating in a couple months, so I'll probably have some more opportunities to be traveling around where it'll be nice to have my Switch. So Olli World is something that I could be playing on there at that point. I don't know if I would fully recommend this game. I would maybe recommend it if there was a reduction in price from the normal price of it, but I don't know. I could be eating crow on this if I play some more of this game, because it looks like I'm in the tutorial area, and it looks like there's at least 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 other worlds of complete levels and different things that are going on. But I don't know. I don't know if they're going to throw too many mechanics on top of it. I might already feel like that a little bit, but I do just generally like the skating down the ramps and trying to make it to the end without crashing. My little bit of a fear was that you're going to have to do more than that to progress in this game, where it's going to want you to get more into the tricks or the objectives of the level. And I don't know if that's something that I'm going to really, really dive into and play a whole lot of. So we'll see. I'll probably play some more of this game this week in a small session just to see what's going on with it. But I think it's safe to say this game could be in contention for the bottom of my list. So we'll see. Olli World. Go play it if you'd like to. If you want to get some skateboarding in. In like a cartoony world. So it's pretty neat. And the next game, speaking of cartoony worlds, this one's a little more anime on the side of that, but that game is Neon White. This is a first-person shooter and puzzle platforming game developed by Angel Matrix and published by Annapurna Interactive. This is Neon White. He is the main character. I meet Neon Violet in this, who was like trying to have sex with Neon White, so that was a little wild. I was like, wow, this game, the commentary in this game's a little out there, but it's kind of interesting, so I think I'm a little bit more into that than I would say the Olli Olli world trappings around it, but the actual fun and the play of Neon White is definitely the gameplay. It's fun trying to figure out the levels. I haven't been too stumped yet, and I've actually replayed one of the levels trying to get a better score already, so I think Neon White is really, really cool, and I think I could already recommend this game. I believe it's either $19.99 or $24.99 on the Switch. I think it's also on PC, but I don't have a PC to play this. I wish this game would be on Xbox or PS5 as well, just like everything else, but for now it's on Switch. That's where you have to play it, and it's really fun. It's like a platforming level. I think they're usually, the ones I've played, might be around 28 seconds, and you're just trying to make it to the end. You have to defeat the demons on the stage, and then there's also things on the stage, like if you miss, you won't be able to progress. So like if you don't kill the demons, you can't progress. And then you have to grab these cards that you're playing, like an elevate card that makes you jump. And if you miss an elevate card on one section, or if you burn it too quickly, you won't be able to make a gap towards the end, and you have to restart the level. So you can hit the minus button and it'll automatically restart the level. So this is one where you're going to probably be restarting the level a lot as you get into it and get into some of the harder levels. But it's really cool. I'm a little bit surprised by the by the dialogue and the cutscenes in this game. It's a little more interesting than I thought it would be. It's definitely nothing like it's silly. It's definitely on the silly side of things, but it's cool though as well. So it's neat. I definitely would say check this game out. I think if I was just putting in a weird battle between Olli Olli World, I would pick Neon White over it. But that could be a battle for my game of the year list actually. But I think both these games are doing some good things, and I think Neon White's especially doing some good things. So maybe go check that game out if you haven't seen it. You could at least watch some levels of it and just see what it's doing. I think that would explain better than me telling you. But it really is these bite-sized levels you're just trying to make it to the end of, and you're in a first-person view, and you have these cards, and you can pick up cards on the map, and the cards will make you, the ones I've seen have just made you jump so far. But you also have your regular jump, and then you have an attack. So Neon White is seeming really cool. I'm going to play some more of that this week in like a small session again, like Olli Olli World, just to get some more information on it. And I will report back to you if I have anything else interesting to say about those games. But go check those out if you'd like to. All right, let's keep going down this list. To end the week, I haven't played anything substantial. I haven't made any substantial progress on God of War Ragnarok. I've actually restarted on my main profile again, so I'm doing some moving around like that I like to do, that I'm trying to get everything exactly right. I think I was like 3 or 4 hours in, so I'm just trying to restart, and I'm playing it a little bit without paying attention, just trying to get through it right now, but it's actually been very fun again. I'm surprised by how quickly it moves, how quickly the story gets going, and I'm back to some parts that I was remembering, and I want to shout out to Mimir as being a cool head. Mimir, I guess, is Kratos' brother, and he's just the head, and he puts him on a stand, and he talks, and I really like his voice actor and his commentary, and he's kind of funny and witty, and then Kratos carries him around and makes him do things, so it's just cool. I know that's been a common thing in God of War, but I just really like Mimir, and I hope there's a lot of him in this game, and I think there will be. But God of War definitely seeming very cool. I've liked restarting it and seeing those things again, so it's been really neat. I'm pretty sure this game is going to have a decent spot on my list just from the early intro of it, 4 hours in and restarting, but I can just kind of tell it's going to be really awesome and fun. So go check out Ragnarok if you'd like to. I think that game's really cool. All right, but I didn't get a chance to play too much of it this week. I played a little bit at my desk trying to get through some of the early parts again, just to make my way so I can be seeing some new stuff in that game. All right, but another game this week that I've been playing a good bit of is FIFA 23. I'm a soccer guy. The World Cup has got me hype a little bit. The United States is out of the World Cup now, though, so there's only a few other countries remaining, but I've still been watching some of the matches, and they've been really fun. I watched both matches yesterday that went to PKs and ended in Croatia beat Argentina, which was a big upset and awesome. And then, what was the game last night? I don't remember the later game, but it went to PKs as well. Oh yeah, the Netherlands and who did they play? I don't know, guys. I'm blanking on the World Cup here like an idiot. I'm gonna actually look it up. I'm just not the Oh yeah, Croatia beat Brazil. That's right. Brazil had Neymar. Neymar tied Pele for most goals for Brazil, I believe it was. But Croatia actually won in the shootouts. And then the Netherlands and Argentina. Argentina actually won in the shootouts. Argentina was up 2-0, kind of close to the end of that match. Netherlands scored 2 goals and then got to PK, so that was pretty awesome. I was cheering for the Netherlands in that game though. But other than that, it was a great game. They both were great games. As someone, I don't have a dog in these fights. Croatia, I do like Luka Modric. He was my favorite player from last World Cup, so I might be a Croatia fan here on out, but we'll see. There's some matches today. Morocco and Portugal play this morning at 10 a.m., and then England and France are today at 2. So we skipped ahead to sports a little bit here, but that was brought on by the FIFA talk. But FIFA 23 has been awesome. I haven't played a FIFA game in a long time. This is the one I got for $30 at Best Buy. I got a hard copy for my Xbox. I've just been playing, been doing the Play Now matches, trying to kind of learn the game and see what difficulty I'm good at. They started me on World Class. When you load into this game, they have you play a little bit of a match, and it kind of, or maybe it was a whole match, but they select what difficulty they recommend to you. I must have done pretty good that game, and they put me in World Class, but I was getting my ass kicked a little bit, so I bumped it down. And I think I'm on the third from the easiest. Might be the normal difficulty, might be one below normal. It might be one above normal. I should have looked it up, but I'm still testing that out, trying to find the sweet spot because I don't want to be kicking ass easily, but I don't want to be getting my ass kicked easily. So we're trying to see. Like I said, I don't have a huge soccer knowledge, so I was playing just matches that I know of, players I know of, and some things that I do know. So I played some of the World Cup matches. I did Netherlands and Argentina and played as the Netherlands and did that a few times. I've been playing some matches as Chelsea since Pulisic from the United States is on there. I've actually had to sub him in. He's the left wing on the bench, and you have to sub him in at the left wing if you want him. And then who have I else? I've played as Barcelona because that's where Memphis from the Netherlands played on. And I tried out PSG, but they just feel like it feels like you're probably a loser or a jerk if you play PSG in that game because they have Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe. But it was fun playing them, and I definitely was doing very well playing PSG in that game. But FIFA's really fun. It's one of those games this week that I've been listening to music and podcasts with, so it's pretty perfect for that, and it's very relaxing to play. And I just haven't done that in a while, so I found that this was the perfect opportunity to start doing that again, especially with getting FIFA and just really having a good time with it. So I'm definitely going to be playing some FIFA this week. It definitely seems like a good relaxation game, kind of just a thing to put on and not really think too hard. You just kind of flow through the game, and the games are really quick, which is one thing I like about them and was noticing. It doesn't take too long to complete a FIFA match. And I was also thinking I would maybe like to start playing some people online in this since the matches are quick, but I still feel like I need a little bit of practice before I take my skills to the interwebs, or to the, they call the soccer field a pitch, so I would call till I take my skills to the virtual pitch out there on the Xbox Live streets. But FIFA 23 is really cool. I noticed that the Switch version is $20, $19.99 this week, and they call it a legacy version. And what I've determined that the legacy version is basically like the same game that they've been porting to the Switch for the last couple of years, but all they've done is update the rosters to it. So anyone going to the Switch, the new FIFA 23 Switch version, legacy version, thinking it's going to be an upgraded visual or graphical, I guess that's right, updated graphical experience, I don't know, but it's not going to be. So that seemed to be the main complaint that I was reading about that game, is it's not getting improved at all, and that's already a complaint on the main consoles, but at least the games look really nice. But the Switch version is basically just a lesser running version. I don't know if there's as many options in the game, but it does have the updated rosters and players, which is what 90% of the sports fans are buying those games for, if they're being honest. They're really just trying to get those updated rosters and the rookies in the game and updated stats and all those kind of things. So it's neat that it's even on Switch. I thought for half a hair of picking it up since it was $20, but then I kind of watched some reviews about it and I was like, okay, this doesn't look like the I'm not going to be playing FIFA all day long, all the time, so I don't need multiple ways to play it. But just another thing, it's everything, any game that's on the Switch, you want to be like, damn, that's cool to have in handheld or on the go. So if you see a sale, or if I see a sale, sometimes I'm looking into it and thinking to the future, but then also you might not ever play it. So I run into both scenarios in my life, but I just wanted to bring that information to you today. FIFA 23 is still on sale. It looks like at a lot of places for $30. Sometimes these sports games get even cheaper, but $30 off is pretty good. The next gen version was $69.99, and so to get that for $30 is actually more than $30 off. So just wanted to mention that. All right, let's see here. Vampire Survivors is the next game that I've been playing this week. I've made some great progress in this game. I've really started digging into the second level called the Inlaid Library. Me and Antonio have been in the library, really trying to progress to the left because there's an arrow that has you going left the whole time, so that's different than the Mad Forest. I think it says there's a relic on that stage, so maybe the arrow is pointing you to the relic, but I haven't figured that out yet. I've been trying to move left on the screen as I play, but I've been getting killed. But I've made some great progress in this. I got up to some really high levels. I really like the library for the amount of enemies that it puts on the screen, and so you can level up really, really quick. It has these scary masks that come at you that kind of are like the bats of this level, and those are the ones that I want to bump into and get their jewels, get their family jewels or whatever. I know they're not called that, but get their blue jewels. But I really started hitting a groove with this game. I think I've wisened up on the perks that I'm picking. I'm not picking a wide selection of them anymore. I'm picking a smaller selection of ones that I know are really good, and I'm building them up. And it's been really fun. So those ones I've been using are like, I've mentioned them before, but it's the garlic and the King's Bible, and I like getting the spinach. It upgrades all your damage. I like upgrading the whip is definitely a priority. So I've basically been trying not to get too, and I like the Attracta Orb because that helps you get the wider range on bringing the jewels to you. But I think bringing this game up, I bought a copy of it on Xbox. So for $4.99, they got $4.99 again from me. But now I don't have to be a Game Pass subscriber to play this on Xbox. I own a copy outright. So I think that'll greatly benefit me in the future. And after I bought this game on Xbox, I had some of my best runs ever. So I don't know if it's just playing on the big screen or my just increased knowledge of the game. But from the start of my Xbox profile, if someone didn't know I played this game before, they'd be like, damn, this guy's good. They're like, he's going to survive. These vampires ain't got shit on him. And I did mention last episode that I was fighting vampires, but the interesting note about this game that I mentioned before is that there actually are no vampires in the game that you're fighting. You are just all sorts of different type of monsters, and I don't know if it's been revealed yet that there are any vampires in the game, but I should be saying monsters that I'm defeating, but when I was playing this for the first time on my Xbox copy, I think I got level 20 on the Mad Forest on my second try, and on my other ones it took me a good long while. So and here I have, maybe it was my third, but I'm being for real, it was either first, second, or third. I got that level 20, and it was at least double that or more that went last time before I got level 20. And so I think I almost got level 40 on the Inlaid Library, so I don't know what's the next unlock for level 3, but I need to play more of level 2 because I'm really liking that one, and I think it's cool that there's more levels. That was a surprise to me earlier on in this game that there's more than just that first level, so I think the $4.99 really just threw me off on this game of what it would be. $4.99 really lowers your expectations in this game. It exceeds those expectations in every way. So I hope Ponkel, the creator of this game, is having a great day, or Mr. Ponsel. I still don't know how to say his name. I don't know if I'll ever learn. I don't know if I'll ever look it up or find out, but I'm just going to keep guessing at it. And Vampire Survivors, you should go buy that game anywhere you can. Play it on Game Pass if you have Game Pass already to try it out, or drop the $4.99 on any console. Or I guess it's on PC, or there's a Steam version, there's a Xbox version now. So I think there's the only two places you can buy it. And I will keep an eye out for a Switch version of this game in 2023. I believe we'll get that. That's a Dep Lewis Show prediction for 2023, is that we'll get a copy of Vampire Survivors out there. And that's just a hope more than something that I know. And then the last thing this week, for like what I've been playing, or I guess this is this kind of falls in things I've purchased, but after watching Todd Howard on the Lex Friedman podcast last week, it got me really on the Skyrim Bethesda train. So I saw that the upgrade for like the ultimate version, whatever the next gen upgraded version, I don't know what it's called for Skyrim, might be the anniversary edition, but it was $10 to upgrade my copy. So I dropped the $10 in digital cash to, not digital cash, but I dropped $10 digitally to buy the upgrade, and I just downloaded it to my console. I actually haven't played it, and haven't I don't know if I have any immediate plans to play it, but I already had the, I think it's $39.99 version of the game on Xbox, which is like, it's too hard to keep up with Skyrim, but I have that version on the Xbox or whatever it's called, and then now I just pay the $10 to get the upgrade, which I think is usually $20 to get the full upgrade. So it was on sale. I think the base version of Skyrim was on sale too, so if you don't own that and you want to play it, go check it out. But I just thought it would be cool to check out this game in its best form at some point again, since I love Skyrim. I think Skyrim was 2011. I think that's when it first got released, but it is still a great game today. And Todd Howard and Lex talking about Elder Scrolls 6 and talking some about Skyrim and just the NPCs in there, and just they even talked about Morrowind. It just made me want to check that out, and I was looking at the store and saw it was on sale for a nice upgrade, so I said this is worth my money. So that's what I've been playing this week out there, people. It's been a great week. So I played a little of Splatoon 3. I definitely will play some more matches of that this week. I need to fix my locker up. I played some Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I could see myself playing this with some more friends this week. I think that'll be my best indicator, besides just some random matches on when to play Call of Duty, is when my friends are playing. So that'll be a good way to fit that game in. I played some Olli Olli World on Nintendo Switch. I played some Neon White. I probably will play, have some small sessions with each of those games this week to check them out a little more, to see what I'm thinking about them. God of War Ragnarok, played some of that. I need to catch my profile up to where I'm at, so I can progress further, and I can see myself doing that this week for sure. I need to grab my axe and my sword and my son Atreus, and I need to go out there and kick some ass. So I'll do that this week. I played some FIFA 23. I've been having a lot of fun with that. I think this is a game that you'll hear me talk about for a good while that I'm playing. I don't know if I'll have many updates to give on actually what I'm doing in that game, but I will bring up that it's something in my rotation, and I think it will be, because it's been very relaxing to play that game. Vampire Survivors is something you should go buy right now, and you should quit listening to me. You should turn this podcast off and go buy Vampire Survivors. That'll be the best advice I can give you today. And then Skyrim, I bought the $10 upgrade, and I think that game is still on sale, and I think the upgrade might be too. So if you want to get into some Skyrim on the new consoles with the nice version, you can go look at that right now. So the next section is going to be a very great section this week, since we had a lot of news. It was very easy to get a lot of news for this section this week, and a lot of news that I'm excited for personally. So this next section is just looking like dollar signs to me. I need to start planning my Dep Lewis Show cash for purchasing this stuff. So we're going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to come back and tell you about it. So get your popcorn ready, grab a drink, do whatever you like to do to get ready, because it's going to be good. So we'll be back in just a minute, and we'll see you then. Welcome back to the middle section of Dep Lewis Show, episode 10. Thank you for coming back and joining me again. This is a section where I talk about what I've been seeing out there in the video game world. And let me tell you, there's a lot of good stuff this week. The first thing I want to touch on is a game that I talked about last week, and it's called Starfield. This is an action RPG by Bethesda Game Studios. I got on the additional hype train for this game after watching Todd Howard on the Lex Friedman podcast. I'm talking about this and explaining some of what this game's going to look like. I tried to look up the release date for this game, thinking we had one, but all we have right now is 2023. Starfield was delayed. It was supposed to come out in 2022, but got delayed to 2023, so I expect that we'll see it. I just don't know when. Thinking through it right now in my head, it would be nice to see it around springtime, but people might be trying to get out of the way of Tears of the Kingdom, the new Zelda game. So maybe we'll be seeing Starfield later in the year, to give them some additional time to polish it up and make it an epic game like we think it's going to be. So I just wanted to highlight that you should keep your eyes out for Starfield in 2023. I believe this will be a first day on Game Pass game since it's a Xbox exclusive. So this will be a really great flagship game for owning an Xbox in the next gen. This will be the one where you're able to brag to your friends that you're playing Starfield and they might not be able to on their other system. So this is going to be really, really cool, and this is a game that I'm going to be playing on whatever day it comes out, and I got a plan for it. So I want them to give us a release date so we can plan accordingly and get our schedules ready, and maybe a vacation day, or just get whatever you need to go explore those stars, those fields of stars. But that's what I wanted to start off this section with. Next section, we got a little bit of Call of Duty news this week, and this was from Phil Spencer from Xbox on Twitter. He says Microsoft has entered a 10-year commitment to bring Call of Duty to Nintendo following the merger of Microsoft and Activision Blizzard King. I don't know why they kept mentioning that, Activision Blizzard King. That must be their whole name. I just thought it was kind of funny that it has that whole thing on there, but Activision Blizzard King, it sounds almost like an enemy in a movie or something. But the quote also keeps continuing where it says Microsoft is committed to helping bring games to more people however they choose to play. I'm also pleased to confirm that Microsoft has committed to continue to offer Call of Duty on Steam simultaneously to Xbox after we close the merger with Activision Blizzard King. So expect to see some Call of Duty on the Switch sometime soon. I don't know exactly how they're going to execute that or what it's going to be, but I believe I mentioned in the first section, getting anything on the Switch and having that as an option for on-the-go or handheld is cool, especially if the game runs well. So I hope that they take that in consideration with the Call of Duty. Maybe it's some form of a stripped-down experience, but if they can get like the basis of a game that runs cool on the Switch, that would be neat. I think they're up against the hardware limitations there a little bit. I know the Switch 2 is an ever-rumored thing. I heard one person mentioning that Zelda Tears of the Kingdom could be the last big game we see on this Switch, which is, that game comes out in May, so I don't know, maybe with 2023, the Switch 2 rumblings or a Switch Pro rumblings will start really, really rumbling, and maybe we'll get something. So, just really exciting, but it's just neat to have options. So, you never want to hear that, especially if you're a huge Call of Duty fan. You don't ever want to hear that, hey, we're not going to try this or whatever. So, I think that's all you can really take from this quote, is that they're going to try something. I wouldn't get your hopes up too much for it, since I think it is a lot to there's a lot to account for there with making a Switch version and maybe some concessions you're having to take. So we'll see, but pretty cool news. I don't know what any of that means for PlayStation. I think that's talked about, kind of like people like to bring that up of, is Call of Duty not going to be on the PlayStation? And I think it's just more over dramatic on that, where I think it'll be on the PlayStation. I think it's in Call of Duty's best interest probably to be on that platform. I'm saying a lot of probablys and maybes because I don't ultimately know, but I can't see how being on PlayStation is hurting them money-wise, and I'm sure they can figure out some type of deal to continue to do so. And I'm sure that deal would benefit both of those parties greatly, and it would just take some figuring on how to get it done. But we might see the Call of Duty on Switch. I don't remember when the last one was on there, but on the Nintendo platform, but it might have been the Wii. And I don't think I played much of it, and I don't think that game reviewed very well, but it'll be interesting to see. People love the Switch, and people who play the Switch have all different levels of gaming and what they're into, so you never know. Can't knock all these things, everything doesn't have to be for you, but looks pretty cool. So the next thing we're going to get into is the main source of the news for this week, and there was an award show, and there was also a million announcements and trailers released that you can go watch. So I'm going to explain that as we go. So the Game Awards, hosted by Jeff Keighley, which happens yearly, and it's pretty much the biggest video game show of the year across the industry. Last year, they kind of fumbled their game of the year in most people's minds with It Takes Two, which was a co-op experience and was regarded as a great game, but just a little bit questionable as the game of the year. And this year, they knocked it out of the park, I would say, in my opinion. Elden Ring is the game of the year for the Game Awards, and I think that's the smartest choice anyone can make this year. I think Elden Ring is a masterpiece. It's an amazing game. It's really cool. I can see anybody arguing it at any time for best game of the year, maybe best game of all time. It's just really great, and they had the opportunity this year to get it right, and they got it right. And Elden Ring gave them the opportunity to make their decision, make them look like geniuses. Because everyone could say Elden Ring is great this year and you look like a genius because it really is a great game. So congratulations to Elden Ring. I think they won a bunch of other categories. I think God of War won a bunch of categories, which is really cool too, because that's a pretty cool argument this year. I just don't have... I have some good Elden Ring knowledge. God of War I'm just kind of getting into, but I think it'll be a cool argument. Obviously you can play both games and you probably should, but it would be a fun argument to pick which one you liked better in the year. And I do think Elden Ring just has another level that other games don't have of its just its difficulty and its open worldness and just the whole, I don't know, that game's really, really cool. It's something that I'll be playing more of someday, and I'm really glad it won the Game Awards. I think that'll lend a lot of credit to this Game Awards, and next year people will go into it with a little bit higher expectations, and I hope they'll continue to meet those expectations and exceed them like they did this year with making a very good choice. And then the other thing that comes along with the Game Awards, so there was a ton of awards given. That's really the only one that I looked up because it was the only one that I was interested in. But with the award show comes a lot of announcements and a lot of trailers. So we're going to go over those. And I watched all these trailers after the fact. I was thoroughly impressed by all of them. And we're going to get into it. So, all right. So the first announcement I want to talk about is Hades 2 got announced. That is a game by Supergiant Games. It's expected that you can try this game in early access in 2023. So that should be kind of not too far off. That's the same way Hades 1 worked. This is a direct sequel to Hades 1 taking place sometime after the events of the original game. No prior knowledge of the original Hades is needed, though there are plenty of connections. It looks like Melano is her name, Princess of the Underworld, is the lead character, and she looks really, really cool and badass. And I will buy Hades 2 in early access whenever I'm able to. And I just can't say enough. I can't believe that game is coming out. The trailer looks really cool. You need to go watch it yourself. So that's all I'm going to say. Go watch the Hades 2 trailer. This is another game that I own on multiple systems. I own Hades 1 on multiple systems. Hades 1 is a perfect Nintendo Switch game, and it looks great on there. Their art style is very dialed in, and it looks great. And I think Hades 1 might be $20, $19.99 right now. So Hades 2, I can't say enough of how excited I am for this game, and I will be buying it on day one. So the Hades 2, I need to create my list of things I need to buy. Fire Emblem Engage on January 20th, 2023 is definitely on that list, and Hades 2 is now on that list as well. So there goes some of the Dep Lewis Show cash right there. Another game that reminds me of Hades, and I think of in the same vein, is Dead Cells. And Dead Cells also has some new content coming in early 2023. There was a trailer released for this called highlighting the return to Castlevania DLC. Castlevania is the popular series of video game Majesty. Castlevania is a long-running video game franchise, and they're bringing the Castlevania to the Dead Cells, and they're bringing the Dead Cells to the Castlevania. So you'll need to beat Dracula to get to the game's most epic and ambitious boss battle yet. This is the game's biggest expansion to date. The quote says, the back of the box quote thing says, you'll be able to team up with Castlevania heroes Richter Belmont and oh man, I don't know that guy's name. I spelled it wrong, but I got Akelard. As you battle through as you battle throngs of monsters, including werewolves, in an attempt. That guy's name is Alucard. I'm stupid. I just spelled it wrong, but I know it's Alucard. Let's rewind. Go back to the beginning of this. You'll be able to team up with Castlevania's heroes Richter Belmont and Alucard as you battle throngs of monsters, including werewolves, in an attempt to reach the Dark Lord's throne room. The DLC includes 14 Castlevania weapons and items, including the Vampire Killer, Cross, and Holy Water. They've all been reworked to fit in with the fast-paced combat of Dead Cells. So I think this expansion looks like, if you're a Dead Cells fan, you'll like it. If you're a Castlevania fan, you'll like it. If you're a fan of both, you'll love it. So I'll be paying up to the piper for whatever this DLC costs. I'm imagining it'll be in the $14.99, $20 range, and it'll be a great reason to play some more Dead Cells. Dead Cells is another game that I own on Xbox and Switch. It's a perfect Switch game, but it's just also fun to play these on play this game in 4K on your screen. So I don't know, I'll have to make a decision on which version to buy, or maybe I'll buy both. But Dead Cells is a timeless game that you can always play, and DLC for it should not be scoffed at. It should be purchased, and There's a lot of DLC for that game already that I've just purchased just to add it to my collection of Dead Cells, and I've done that on the Switch, so maybe that's a good argument for buying this on the Switch. But Dead Cells is a very epic game, and one of my friends is actually just got back into it recently, so hopefully if he's hearing this, he's getting hyped for this DLC, and I'll definitely be telling him about this as well, because him and I will definitely be playing this. So Dead Cells, you should go check that out. You should also go check out that trailer. The trailer for Dead Cells Return to Castlevania DLC is epic. The trailer for Hades 2 is epic. Final Fantasy 16, the release date got announced at this awards, I believe. It was, and then the release date for that is June 22nd, 2023. I believe I said in an early pod that I would be surprised if they hit this date, but it looks like they're sticking to it. I hope it doesn't get pushed, and this is a game that I'll just be checking into. I don't think it'll be a day one purchase for me, as I just don't have much Final Fantasy experience. I played some of them, not a whole lot, but this isn't going to be on the top of my hype level. It'll be something that, the trailers for this game has looked very cool, and I would like to know more about it. So I hope this makes a smooth release date on June 22nd, 2023, and I'll be checking into this game and trying to see some people playing it. So look out for Final Fantasy 16 in the middle of 2023 over the summer. Great for the young people who have summer break, possibly could spend their whole summer playing Final Fantasy 16 if it's that epic and sprawling of an adventure. So we will see. Alright, the next game that was announced at the Game Awards is a game from Software, so that's the developer of Elden Ring and developer of many other games that are epic and classic and iconic and all those words that you want to say. This game is going to be released in 2023. My anticipation would be probably towards the end of the year, since this looks pretty epic, and this game is called Armored Core 6. So if you want to get your mech fighting on, Elden Ring mech fighting, then you got it. The trailer for this is really cool. They're showing you really, really close-up details of these mechs and the weapons that they have and the way they're going to kill you and destroy things. And if the combat is going to be as particular and particular and precise and brutal as Elden Ring, having mech combat in that world is going to be crazy. I didn't really realize that. I don't know if From Software has always done the Armored Core 6 games, Armored Core games, but that would be interesting, because that would have probably been the first time I heard about From Software. Just didn't really realize it, because I kind of know them more for things like Sekiro and Bloodborne and the Souls, Dark Souls and things like that. But more recently Elden Ring. But Armored Core 6 is coming. I think this will be a day one purchase for me. I'm like 90% sure on this, just because it looks so cool. And now I'm a big From Software fan, and I don't know. I think a lot of people will be excited for this. I think a couple of my friends are Armored Core fans from back in the day, so I don't know if this is something that will get them back into it, but it'll be interesting to get their take on it and see what they think. But this is another trailer that you need to go watch. So they are really hitting hard with this Game Awards and these announcements. And this next announcement is probably the coolest one I saw. You need to immediately go watch this trailer. And this is Ken Levine, the creator of BioShock's next game. It's called Judas. It looks to be a narrative-driven, single-player, first-person shooter that gives off some BioShock and space vibes. The back-of-the-box talk on this is a disintegrating starship, a desperate escape plan. The official press release shared, "You are the mysterious and troubled Judas. Your only hope for survival is to make or break alliances with your worst enemies. Will you work together to fix what you broke, or will you leave it to burn?" And the trailer for this is very BioShock-like. The lady has flames coming out of her hands. It looks like a power at one point. The initial scene in the trailer looks like the intro of BioShock, where you're in the tube or whatever. So the initial trailer for this game, you're like in a spacesuit or something. So you have the view through the suit. So it's really cool and just reminiscent of BioShock. So the gameplay in this game is going to be fun and kind of out there. The story is going to be epic. And I just can't believe, I don't know if it says this game is coming this year or just got announced, but this would be something epic to look forward to in the fourth quarter of 2023. And I really love the BioShock games. And I'm so excited for this. I didn't know this was a thing. And I'm going to keep up with this. So I wanted you to know about this. I wanted you to get your controllers ready. Any BioShock fan probably needs to buy this. If you watch the trailer, it's going to give you those vibes. And it just looks cool. It's going to be a next-gen BioShock. It's going to be a new take, a fresh story, a new environment. And I think it's going to be its own separate thing from BioShock, so that's going to be really cool. I think it's just going to have a little bit of lineage there, but this game is looking super cool, and I can't wait to play it. And this is immediately on my hype list as well. So that's going to be a definite purchase for me, along with the Dead Cells DLC and Hades 2 so far from these announcements. And then the last thing that was announced was Death Stranding 2 is officially announced. So this is Hideo Kojima of Metal Gear fame announces this game officially at the Game Awards. This is a sequel to the 2019 original. I never played the original Death Stranding, but I've heard this game is really cool. I've heard some people really flip-flop on this game that played it initially. And I'm talking about Dan Reichert from the Fire Escape cast and the Giant Bomb fame. Dan Reichert originally played Death Stranding and trashed it. And then a year later, or whatever, I think maybe when the director's cut came out, he loves this game. So I'm sure he's hyped for Death Stranding 2, and I'll be excited to hear his take. I did look up this week that Death Stranding PS5 version is on sale for $19.99 right now. And then I believe the even more upgraded or whatever extra content director's cut might have been $24.99 or $29.99. So those games are on pretty big sales right now if you want to pick them up, and it's something I thought about doing as well. You see Norman Reedus in this game again. There also is a baby. There was that baby in the first game, and I don't know, those cutscenes in this game look very, very Metal Gear. One of the first, it's like a cargo, I don't know what it is, something like a big, huge car, I don't know, I'm blanking on what to call it, but this vehicle in the early beginning of this trailer looks very reminiscent of Metal Gear, and that gets me excited. So wanted to highlight that as well. Death Stranding 2 is officially announced. I don't know if they gave it a talk about when it's going to be released, but possibly 2023. So these Game Awards were crazy. I need to pay a little more attention that night of, but I had a great time watching these trailers the next day, and was like one of the better surprises of video game news that I've had in a while. I've been like, oh my god, all this shit was announced. There might have been a few other things sprinkled in there, but these are the ones that I'm the most hyped for. So we got Starfield coming out in 2023, hopefully. We got that Call of Duty news about the Call of Duty coming to Nintendo, a 10-year commitment to do that. Then we watched the Game Awards. Elden Ring was the game of the year, which I think they hit that out of the park. I think you'll be hearing a lot of Elden Ring wins game of the year, and a lot of arguments at the end of the year for Elden Ring. Hades 2, we got an announcement at the Game Awards. You can try this in early access in 2023. That's the sequel to Hades 1 by Supergiant Games. We got Dead Cells DLC coming in early 2023. You get your cash ready for that. It's the Return to Castlevania DLC. We got a Final Fantasy release date, June 22nd, 2023. Armored Core 6 got announced from Software. This will be released in 2023. We got Ken Levine's next game was announced called Judas. And it doesn't say we'll get that in 2023, but I hope we will. And then Death Stranding 2 is officially announced by Hideo Kojima. And this is a sequel to the 2019 game. And that was an original IP created by Kojima Productions. So it's cool to see an original IP, a recently created original IP getting a sequel. So it must have done well enough to garner that. So shout out to all those wonderful announcements this week. I hope you will go check those trailers out. I really, really think you should, especially if you have some interest in those games or like what you've heard here on the Dep Lewis Show. And put them on your wish list. Get your cash ready, get your calendars ready, and get ready to play those great games when they come out. So that's going to be it for this mid-section of the show today, this middle section. I said I don't like calling it the mid-section, but it flows very nicely, so, whatever. It's the mid-section. And next we're going to take a quick break here in just a second, and we're going to go to the last section of the show. We're going to have a little music talk and a little sports talk, and that's going to be it for this week. So please come back in just a minute, and we're going to finish out the show, and I'll appreciate you doing so. So we'll be back in just a minute. Welcome back to the final section of the Dep Lewis Show for this week, episode 10. Thank you for rejoining me in this show. We're going to close the show out with some miscellaneous talk here. And the first thing I want to mention is I didn't make any book progress this week on The Lost Metal by Brandon Sanderson, but I wanted to at least just shout that out again, that if you want to check out some cool books, you should go read anything by Brandon Sanderson. The Lost Metal is part of the Mistborn series. It's the part of the Wax and Wane section of the Mistborn series, so that's the second half. But it's something you can read by itself, or you can go read the original Mistborn. You can start from the first Mistborn book as well. So just want to highlight that. I definitely see myself reading some pages this week. I just had a lot going on last week for book reading, and I will get back into it this week. So shout out to Sando. A big release this week in the music world, something I'm really into, is the release of SZA's new album called SOS. SZA is one of my favorite artists. Her last album in 2017, Control, I still listen to it probably weekly to this day. I like many of those songs, are classic songs on there, and I'm always checking out for SZA's new music, and just getting a whole album of new music from her is amazing. There's only a few songs on here that I've heard so far, like Good Days and the I Hate You, that have been spinning for a while, but I already have a couple new favorites on this one. I like the track called Far. I think there's one called Nothing to Me that's really cool, and the song with Travis Scott's awesome. I don't think she's really missed on this album yet. I think there's maybe one song that I wasn't into, but this whole album is jamming. It came out 12/9/2023. I'm listening to this on Apple Music. It's amazing. I was looking to, I was just going to pay the money for it, but then I was able to get a subscription to Apple Music, and I'm bumping this. So this was what I've been bumping, playing some Call of Duty. I was playing some other games, listening to this. This is going to be the album I'm going to be rocking for a while. So if you like R&B music, if you like SZA, you should go listen to this. And I'm just so happy this came out again. She kind of announced it. SZA fans like myself have been waiting on this album for a long time, and it was kind of cool how quickly she announced it recently. It was like, hey, here comes my album. Everyone was kind of on the lookout for it for a while, and I just like the short turnaround from her announcement of it. Hey, it's finally coming out, to here it is. I really like the cover artwork of her. It's like on a diving board, or this board over this water, and she put some videos out I've already seen. So you need to go check out SZA's YouTube. You can watch her videos. They have all the audio for all her songs in there too, if you want to listen to her on YouTube. But you should go pay or subscribe or do something to listen to SZA. Her album's awesome, and just go SZA. I hope to have SZA on the Dep Lewis Show one day. That'd be epic. And then so after that, that was our music talk and book talk for the week. And the last thing, we're going to close our show out with is some sports talk. I've already touched on the World Cup early on, so we're not going to bring that up again, but we're getting down to the nitty-gritty on the World Cup. I'll be excited to watch the final. I believe the semifinal is coming Tuesday at 1 p.m., and I don't know who I'm going for. Might be possibly a Croatia fan, but we'll see. I'm just going to be hopefully just looking for some good matches to watch, and hopefully I'll find the time to do it. And hopefully I can get out and go watch one of those matches again, because it's been fun to go watch the soccer and drink some beer. And anywhere you try to go watch soccer now, it seems like they have an option to drink a liter of beer. So that's been kind of cool. Instead of just a regular pour, you can get a liter. And I guess that's just because soccer's going on. So shout out soccer for getting all the people of the world, including myself, boozed up and having a good time. But that's been really fun. Something that I missed last week, the official NFL team of the Dep Lewis Show, the Carolina Panthers, had a bye last week for week 13 after beating the Denver Broncos. So hopefully the Panthers have had a great week off. We had to watch Baker Mayfield, who got released from the Panthers. He won his first game with the Rams in like an exciting fashion. I believe it was Monday night. I didn't watch any of it. So I watched enough Baker Mayfield I've watched enough Baker Mayfield. That's all I gotta say. That's how I'm gonna end that statement. I watched enough Baker Mayfield. So I guess I'm happy that he did well for them, but it's just it just brings up questions with the Panthers. I don't think he played well enough where we're like, oh shit, we made a mistake. But it might be partially that, and it could partially be the people in the building at the Panthers are running things as well as they should. But the Panthers are back this Sunday, December 11th. So that's tomorrow, and they're playing in Seattle at 4:25 against the Seahawks, who have been overachieving all season. Have had a great team. They're playing at home, which is very tough. The 12th man will be there on the 11th, so that's always dangerous. There's 5 games, including this one, to end the season, so hopefully the Panthers will be ending strongly. Steve Wilkes is still interviewing for his job, and I don't think he's made the determination yet based on his coaching. I think he's left it open where he can get hired or he can not get the job. So I think that's probably probably pretty a good scenario for him, where he's happy to be in that scenario right now, where he's still under consideration, I would say. So hopefully the Carolina Panthers will get a dub tomorrow. I think it's going to be a really tough game. I hope Sam Darnold will come out and show off again. He really needs to do that in back-to-backs, and to really get the Panthers fans on his back, behind him. So I hope he'll do so. The Atlanta Hawks, the official NBA team of the Dep Lewis Show, have been struggling a little bit. We've lost Dejounte Murray for a couple weeks with an ankle injury, I believe it was. So that's no good. I saw Bogdanovic playing last night, and he had over 30 points. So that was nice to see that he's back. I know he had some injury stuff going on, and I think he was kind of working back up to being full strength, and it looks like he might be there now. So it was nice to see him balling out, even though it was in a loss to the Nets last night. But since I've last talked to you, the Hawks, I saw them lose to the Knicks, and that was really, really bad. That's the game where Murray hurt his ankle, and Trae Young was looking a little, I guess despondent might be the word, on the bench. He was just kind of looking off into the distance like, what the hell's going on? I didn't appreciate Julius Randle smiling so much. And that Robinson guy, too, I think was his name. But Julius Randle doing all that was a little extra. Julius Randle's a good player, but he was out there just kind of acting a fool, I felt like. But they definitely kicked the Hawks' ass that night, so he had a reason to smile. But it was just kind of a weird smile going on there, Julius. Don't do that to my boys. My boys don't deserve it. But the Hawks lost to the Nets last night, KD and Kyrie and crew. And I don't know, it's just not looking too great for the Hawks out there. They're definitely missing Murray. He was their big acquisition, and they really need him, and they need their whole team to be firing on all cylinders. Clint Capella was doing okay last night. I like some of the young guys. I think John Collins is our question mark. He's still probably in trade rumors, and I think I've heard everyone on this roster is up for trade rumors besides Trae and Murray. So I think that's probably for the best. But it's nice to see Bogey getting into form, and maybe we can get Murray back. This team can start gelling a little bit, but they're trying to do some new things here with the addition of Murray. So it's not too surprising it's not going so smooth, but I would have expected it to be going a little bit better. So, but it is what it is. And that's a stupid saying, but it is. Just the Hawks. You got to have, as I said before, tempered expectations on the Hawks. You better temper those expectations. If you see your expectations, temper those bitches, because they need to be. But I think there is a path to success here, so we will see if the Hawks are able to execute. So their upcoming games, they have a Sunday game at home versus the Bulls this week. They have Monday away at the Grizz, Wednesday away at the Magic, and Friday away at the Hornets. So they got one home game against the Bulls, and then they go on the road for 3. They should be able to get the Bulls in theory. The Grizz should be tough. They should be able to get the Magic and the Hornets in theory. So I'm hoping to come back next week and report 3 victories to you for the Hawks, but we will see. You never know with those Atlanta Hawks what they're going to do, but we need those fools to show up and give us something good to watch. All right, the last Atlanta team that we love is the official Major League Baseball team of the Dep Lewis Show, and that is the Atlanta Braves. We are in the full swing of off-season free agency moves. The winter meetings have started, or were last week. So we had a lot of news go down. We saw a lot of signings. We saw, Xander Bogaerts go to the Padres. We saw Trey Turner go to the Phillies. We saw Aaron Judge get paid. We saw, for the Braves, we saw Joe Jimenez from Detroit get traded to our team. So if we're going to add him to our bullpen, I don't know if he's going to be our reliever, or if we're going to be looking at Iglesias for that, or if we're going to be looking at both of them for that. But I don't know too much about Jimenez, but it seems like he's going to be a nice addition to our team. We gave up I think it was our top-rated young guy, which I had never heard of him, but maybe it was an okay time to bring in someone to help us immediately. And with the departure of Kenley Jansen, we could definitely use someone to consider for our closing spot. So hopefully Jimenez will come in and ball out for us. I think he's actually, maybe he's 27, I think is what I read. So it's not like he's a wily old veteran or anything. He should be a guy right in his prime. So I hope he'll come in and do very well for the Braves. We're still on the shortstop watch for Dansby. That news is not looking too good for the Braves. The news coming out is saying there hasn't been much communication between Dansby and the Braves about the contract, and that the Braves have really not been budging on or going close to anywhere what Dansby's asking for. And, we're seeing these big deals for the other shortstops going. And these other teams have some shortstop need out there. So I don't know what the Braves are going to do. I kind of have a feeling we're not going to sign Dansby, and we're going to be looking at the Vaughn Grissom possibly Orlando RC, a combination for the shortstop position, and then maybe we upgrade a player elsewhere, because I think they do say the Braves should be at least paying one more $20 million guy. It's either going to be Dansby or somebody else. So if it seems like we're going to be moving on from Dansby, I hope that I kind of see the path through of liking Grissom and Arcia filling in that spot, maybe hopefully Grissom, and then spending the money elsewhere, maybe to upgrade left field would be my thought. But I wish they would pay Dansby. I wish he would be our guy getting 20 mil, and I think they should do it. Unless they have some other great solution for left field, because I think we do have a little bit of a conundrum with fitting Grissom into our lineup. But with the inclusion of the DH now, it does make fitting somebody in a little bit easier. So that's something else to consider as well. But all the free agency stuff's been great to watch. The last Braves thing I wanted to highlight was that my I guess this is my favorite player growing up in baseball was Crime Dog, Fred McGriff, and he just got inducted into the Hall of Fame. So I want to shout out the Crime Dog. That used to be my email address when I was a little kid. I was the Crime Dog out there, but he was my favorite player. He was a switch hitter. He wore 27. He was just so much fun to watch. He played first base. I played first base when I was little, and just really cool to see the Crime Dog finally go to the Hall of Fame. And of all time, he's my previous favorite player of the Braves, and then my current favorite player is Ronald Acuna Jr. I have a stupid song where I sing Ronald Acuna Jr., but Ronald Acuna Jr. and Fred McGriff are my two favorite Braves of all time. So it's pretty cool to see my current favorite player still playing, and then my previous favorite player is in the Hall of Fame. So shout out to the Crime Dog. Definitely a great note to end this podcast on talking about the Crime Dog. It's always good to talk about old McGriff. And so that was how we're going to close out this show this week. So that was our miscellaneous talk section. The Lost Metal, I should be making some more progress on that this week from Brandon Sanderson on some books, on some book reading right there. I'm going to keep listening to SZA's new album SOS, and I think you should too. I'm going to watch the Panthers play the Seattle Seahawks tomorrow at 4:25 on December 11th, and they're going to get a dub. And then I'm going to hopefully watch the Hawks to get some wins this week. They got the Bulls at home, and then they got the Grizz, Magic, and Hornets all at their homes. So I'm hoping the Hawks can secure 3 to 4 wins. I want to hear the Braves Dansby news. Hopefully I'll be reporting that back to you next week about the Braves signing Dansby to a nice contract and a big payday. Or I'll be hearing reporting some news on the Braves making another move, which they'll need to make to appease the fans and make us happy. So we've got to keep those fools in check, and that's what the Dep Lewis Show is here to do. So listen up, my Atlanta Braves. You're either going to sign Dansby, or you're going to make a plan that convinces me that not signing Dansby was the right move. That's all I'm going to accept here on the Dep Lewis Show. So get it right, Atlanta Braves. Get it right, Alex Anthopoulos. Get it right, Brian Snicker, and give your feedback and let them know what you want. That's what we're going to do. All right. So thank you for listening to another great show this week. I just want to reiterate a few things. Since you're a loyal listener of this show, and this is the 10th episode, since we're in double digits, we want to keep this show going. We want people to start listening to it. So I want you to tell people. I want you out there listening right now in your headset. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah, you. Not talking to someone else. I want you to follow the Dep Lewis Show everywhere. I want you to like, subscribe, rate, comment, review, turn on notifications, and tell a friend. Email any questions or feedback to DepLewisShow@gmail.com. There's full episodes of Dep Lewis Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Patreon, and more on my Buzzsprout page. You can check out clips on YouTube and TikTok. And just thank you for listening. I hope you continue to keep listening. I look forward to bringing this show to you every week. Next week, we're going to be back for episode 11. And I hope to have lots of good game talk and other good things to report to you. And I hope you have a wonderful week out there. So we will see you next time. And I'll talk to you then. Peace.